Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today. Namo, the greatly loving and compassionate Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Shimo, Tanzen Katso, Tuten Siddhi. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma tutors, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, everyone. How do you do?
Xin chào, cảm ơn. Aishiteru. Sarange. Hola, amigo. Que quiero mucho. Sugoi. Ichiwa. Kimochi. Yumi. Yapi. Prin. Konbanwa. 今天晚上我们是同修。
This evening, we had the group practice Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva as the main deity, as the deity yoga or yidam practice. The manifestations of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva are the most numerous. That's why we say myriad of them, like trillions of them. We say that Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is also the most compassionate Bodhisattva. Therefore, sometimes when we talk about Buddha Dharma, we say that Amitabha in each household, or Amitabha in each home, and Avalokitesvara in each household. So when the monastic people would say Amitabha, and in almost every household, they would enshrine Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. So there are many manifestations. We often tell this joke that the South Sea belongs to China. Otherwise, where would the South Sea Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva live? It's a joke. The East Sea also belongs to China. Otherwise, where would the East Sea Dragon King live? Because we know the South Sea Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is very famous. We all know her. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is, of course, the most important main deity or yidam in Sukhavati, or the western realm of utmost bliss. In Sukhavati, there are the Pure Land Trinity, At the center, Amitabha Buddha. And when we are facing them, to our right is Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, and to our left is Mahastamaprapta Bodhisattva. And they are called the three Niti of Sukhavati, or the three sages of Sukhavati, the three main reliances in Sukhavati. We all know in the Amitabha Sutra, Sukhavati, the western realm of Atmos bliss, is all the Buddhas in the 10 directions that extend their tongues, their broad and long tongue to praise. So the realm of Atmos bliss is commonly praised by all the Buddhas. And the emanation of Avalokitesvara is not only in Sukhavati, but there are many Avalokitesvara in many realms, many other realms. So this deity is our one of our 8 primary deities of True Buddha School. And many disciples have Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva as their personal meditational deity or yidam. Like some of her emanations are the 7 Avalokitesvara with 32 forms and many more, a myriad of them. This deity is the greatest bodhisattva. Of the 8 great bodhisattvas, we know, the first one we call upon is Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, the greatly loving and compassionate Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. So among the 8 great bodhisattvas, Avalokitesvara is one of them. And the High King Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, which we often chant, inside the High King Kuan Yin Sutra, and also primarily the High King Avalokitesvara as the primary one, but there are also 4 more in there. And they are the noble Avalokitesvara, the expansively minded Avalokitesvara, the observant Avalokitesvara, and the great wisdom Avalokitesvara. 4 more. Where can we find these 4 bodhisattvas? Many people don't know. The great wisdom, the observant, the noble, the expansively minded Avalokitesvara. Where are they? Where can we find them? If you want to find them, go to Kyoto, Japan. The Sanjusan, the 33 temple there. And they have this 4 Avalokitesvara, the great wisdom, observant, noble, and expansively minded Avalokitesvaras. All 4 of them. And they are quite rare, Avalokitesvaras. They appear wherever they are prayed to, and they always deliver sentient beings from the ocean of suffering. If you don't believe this, go find and ask the Vietnamese refugees when they board a boat from Toton, Vietnam. And every time on the boats, when they encounter disasters, they always chant Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Kuan Yin. So you can ask those Vietnamese refugees who came to America which Bodhisattva they prayed to, and they all prayed to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Let me share a few jokes. A human beings should marry at least once in our lives. You know why? Because otherwise you would never know how comfortable it is to live alone. Yesterday, Xiaoming was fired, and he felt bad. And the reason was his boss sent line to the group, a meeting at 10, and bring your life necessity to the meeting room. And when he got to the meeting room, all the colleagues brought their laptops, except Xiaoming brought his bowl and chopsticks. And he was fired. So, like your life necessity, but in Chinese it's like eating, because eating is life necessity, eating utensils. The wife was working very hard to teach a newborn baby to call dad. And the dad was really moved. The wife is so sweet. To teach the son to call dad instead of to call mom. So he's really touched. Until one night, the baby was crying all night and kept calling dad. And the wife nudged her husband. Your son is calling you. Go take care of him. Now we'll get into the main subject. Question from Malaysia by Lianhua Yueqin. Kim. Homage to the lineage root Guru, living Buddha Lien Sheng, Grandmaster Lu. Amitabha. Grandmaster on March 11, 2023 at the Seattle Lejang Temple, you said that look at cells, look at the cells. Every day, quite a few of our cells die. So cells live and they die too. This reminds me, your disciple, a passage from Grandmaster's book number 167, Listen to the Whispers in My Heart, in an article entitled, I am Amitabha Buddha, please listen to the whispers in my heart. The Buddha said, all bodies throughout the Dharma realm are Amitabha Buddhas. So what is pure, what is defiled, what is happy, what is suffering then? It is just because everyone has changed their faces that they have forgotten that they are Amitabha Buddhas. In the Sutra on the Samadhi of Liberation through Purification, it is written, our thoughts result in one body, 100 thoughts result in 100 bodies, 1,000 thoughts means 1,000 bodies. So in a day and a night you plant the seeds of birth and death, which results in 850 million different bodies. The suffering souls you create in 100 years fill the great 1,000 worlds. So are the physical bodies that go with it. When enclosed inside this speck of skin and flesh or the body, how could it possible that they know that all the different bodies in the Dharma realms are all Amitabha Buddhas? When I saw this passage, I was greatly shocked. After reading this article, I was greatly shocked, thinking about how many souls we have created. I wondered when we will complete our cycle of rebirth and achieve fruition. I once wrote an article called The Burden of 850 Millions with these questions. Now I would like to ask Grandmaster. 1. Are the cells in our body the souls and spirits that we have accumulated over past lives? 2. If our cells are the souls that we created with every thought, does it mean that when the cells die, they have gone through one reincarnation? Does it mean that the spiritual cultivation that we do during the lifespan of the cells has purified the karma of the cells? For example, by reciting the mantra of Usnisha Vijaya, can we bardo deliver our own cells? Perhaps my thoughts are just wild imagination. I humbly ask Grandmaster to explain the above passage from the Sutra on the Samadhi of Liberation through Purification. Thank you, Grandmaster. Homage. So note, in 1 year, 98% of cells in our body are being replaced. So this person may have researched science of cells. I did not know that in 1 year, 98% of our body cells are being replaced. Where did it come from? Do you know? Anyone? Yeah, it's been said before. In about 1 year, 98% of our body cells are being replaced. I did not know about this. Anybody knows? Those who study medicine may know, but not otherwise. I just know that cells die and regenerate. And I also heard they say that brain cells cannot be regenerated, cannot regenerate. Once they die, that's it. But cells from other body parts can regenerate. So her questions are the cells in our body, the souls from our past lives? Don't think about this. So even if they are, so what does it matter to you, to me, or to everybody? Everybody's the same. We live on. It's more important to talk about Vimalakirti Sutra, right? Are the cells your manifestations from souls from past lives? So what if they are? And so what if they're not? Let's ask her to see the bird flying in the sky. And this is actually a Chinese idiom. So what if they are, and so what if they are not? There's no need to ask such question. You just eat 3 times a day and sleep every day. Who cares what souls and spirits are the cells? The cells are. Don't worry about it. If you say they are, it's still how it is. If they are not, it's still how it is. It makes no difference at all. Let's take you to see the birds outside. That's my reply to the first question. The second question: if the cells are the souls we created with every thought, then when the cells die, that would be considered one reincarnation. So does it mean the spiritual cultivation that we do during the lifespan of the cells purified the karma of the cells, like chanting Ushnisha Vijaya mantra? Then we are to deliver ourselves. Let me tell you that human's body is an aggregate. It's Pindagraha. So, but research on cells, we'll just leave it to the cell scientists on cells. It's none of our business. And you just follow the sutra and purify your body, speech, and mind and cultivate spiritually. That's good enough. And you're trying to purify your cells? And then each cell has its own karma too. You'll bother me too much. Are you trying to do that? I will have to count my cells every day, thinking the karma of the cells. And do you know how many cells you have in your body? Do you know how many cells do you have in your body? In each of our bodies? Anyone knows? Nobody would know. So why are you thinking about this? About the karma of the cells? Don't. The Buddha never asked you to think about the karma of the cells. You're creating problem from your troublemaker. And Master, please explain the sutra on the samadhi of liberation through purification. One thought results in one body, 100 thoughts result in 100 bodies, 1,000 thoughts means 1,000 bodies. In a day and a night, you plant the seeds of birth and death, which results in 850 million different bodies. So the suffering souls that you create in 100 years will feel the great thousand worlds, and so are the physical bodies. But in this physical body, how could they know that they are all the different bodies of Amitabha Buddha in the Dharma realms? So the sutra included a lot of details, like our body hair. I often think this. Do you know how many strands of hair you have? Nobody can count it. And how many body hair do you have? Nobody can count it. Of course. So this is to use a human body to represent the karma that a human creates. We can say this. Our mind, our behavior, our habitual tendencies, our bodies are all called karma. They're all called karma. So we can say that we live and die thousands of times, or tens of thousands of times. So the sutra on the samadhi of liberation through purification wrote this, because one thought is karma, right? A thought is a karma. Your behavior, your conduct, your action is karma. Your habitual tendencies are all karma. So it's true that we have created lots of karma. But good thing, in Tribuddha school, the Tantric Tribuddha Dharma is to purify the body, speech, and mind. And in a while, we'll talk about the Eightfold Noble Path, which is also talking about the methods to purify karma. through the methods to eradicate the karma of body, speech, and mind. If you can eradicate it, then we naturally manifest our own original body. Each one of us has our own innate body or original body. Then by eradicating karma, you would manifest your own Buddha nature body. So the most important thing is that every one of us is Amitabha Buddha. Once you manifest, then you are Amitabha Buddha. How many Amitabha Buddhas are there? We often chant Namo 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha Buddha. 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. We often chant this. Many people ask me, Namo 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. Where this chanting of this epithet come from? I discovered it. Very few people chant it this way. I discovered it. In Pure Land article, and it was written in it, and then I utilize it into Buddha school. This is excellent. So this is the same. By chanting Namo 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha is to chant all the sentient beings. So now you know by my saying this that all the different bodies in the Dharma realms are Amitabha Buddhas. Now it's clear to you, right? So no matter what kind of bodies in the Dharma realm, it is Amitabha Buddha. So I briefly explained the sutra of liberation, on the samadhi of liberation through purification. So 1 thought, 1 body, 100 thoughts, 100 bodies, 1,000 thoughts, 1,000 bodies. And you have so many bodies. Of course, with one chant, Namo 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. That would be right to chant it this way. So this is how we chant Amitabha Buddha. Then of course, our body cells, if you believe that one cell is one soul, then they are all Bardo delivered already. That's my answer to Lianhua Yueqin from Malaysia. I think I've told this joke. When I was young, I loved to go to the zoo to look at the tiger, and I vowed that I want to raise a tiger when I grew up. And 20 years later, my wish was fulfilled. Okay, no need to say more. Now I have to do laundry and cook. Nobody laughed. A group of friends got together and one of them got drunk. And so the group of friends brought him to a room in a hotel and then notified the wife to come pick him up, to take care of him. And when she walked in the door, the drunkard shouted, "I want a younger one." Sure enough, that's a big problem. Nobody laughed. Now we will continue on the Vimalakirti Sutra. the 37 factors to enlightenment are the pure line of the bodhisattvas. When a bodhisattva becomes a Buddha, sentient beings with mindfulness, right exertions, transcendent basis, roots, powers, realizations, and right paths reach this field. Now we are talking about the right paths. So the path that Sakyamuni Buddha imparted, we call it the right path. And the right path was divided into eightfold. That's why we call it eightfold noble path. So what are they? The first one is right view, right mind, right thoughts, right intention, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right meditation, right speech, right action. Are they all 8? So the first one, let me first talk about right view. Which is what we often talk about when we expound the Vimalakirti Sutra, is the fundamental wisdom. So the body is the fundamental wisdom, and the function is the wisdom of discernment. So what is the right view? We know that Sakyamuni Buddha was talking about the 3 Dharma seals. Everything is impermanent. The truth is impermanence. Impermanence is the truth. That everything has no inherent self, and nirvana is bliss. The first Dharma seal is impermanence. In the Saha world, everything is impermanent. The weather today, it was a nice day with sun, but it was cold. So the wind was very cold. So I put on the scarf. So even with the sun, it was still very cold. Everybody is wearing a coat. But here it's warm because we close the doors and the windows. But when you open them, and with the wind, it would be cold. And outside, you also would feel cold. So the weather is ever changing. So sometimes it rains in the sun, and we call it female rain. So that's impermanence. That there's so many changes within one day. Sometimes I see 7 or 8 changes within a day. Clear sunny sky, and then becomes cloudy, and then it rains, and then wind, and then the thunder and lightning, and then snowing, and hails. Hails. So many changes in a day. So what kind of day today is hard to predict, even with the weather forecast. In one day, there are 7 to 8 changes. So the weather is impermanent, and let alone human beings. What is impermanence? Very simple. It's reported in the news. Pedestrian hell. You go out of the house happily, and then you never get home again, ever. And he or she was walking on the pedestrian, on the crosswalk, and was hit by a car, young and smart. But that's impermanence. You never know what will happen to you today. In reality, there are many impermanences, so many examples, endless. The world's ever changing. Don't think that you're dating now, and you think your romance is so beautiful, so nice. It's a success, very blissful. But after a while, you would know it is impermanent. Especially love, it's really ever-changing. And someone is still happy at noon and going out together, and at night the weather has changed. Love is really hard to say. It's ever-changing. There are many examples of impermanence in the human world. So the first one is impermanence. The second one is no inherent self. Is what Yue Qin asked, what Kim asked. Your body is also ever-changing, impermanent. Your body and mind are ever-changing. That's impermanence. And why there is no self? Because your body is an aggregate of the earth, water, fire, and wind. They're just a combination. When you
你在哪里？
dissect them,
就是无我啊。
where are you? That's why there's
这
no
无
self.
常跟无我
So
都是有因缘
impermanence
果
and
报，
no
都
self
是有因果在里面的，全部都有因果在里面。
embody cause and effect, causes and conditions.
所以你以这个来讲起
The
来，
karma is in there.
根本质是
So
差别质，是用。
the fundamental wisdom is the
你正见
body
上，
or the form,
你
and the
由
wisdom
这
of
个无
discernment
常
is the
跟无我
function.
当中，你可以看到涅槃极
So
限
in
的根本质。
discernment, that
但是
within
你
the
不能否
impermanence
定
and no self,
没
you
有
would be
因
able
果
to
报应，
see the
因为无常就是因果，
nirvana of the fundamental wisdom.
无我也是因果。
Impermanence is cause and effect. No
所
self
以
is
有些
also
人是
cause
说
and effect.
一切都是空吗？
But
那
when
还
people
有什
say
么因果呢？
everything's empty,
这
so
个就是邪
is
见，
how can it
不
be
是正
cause and
见。
effect? Then
真正
that's
的
the
正
wrong
见
thought,
是
not the
不
right
可
thought,
以
not
偏
the
空，
right view, sorry,
也不
not
可
the
以
right
偏
view.
有，
So the right view is you cannot be biased
坐
toward
在
existence
中观
or
的道路上，
emptiness, that you are
你
on
由
the
这个
middle
有
path,
可以看到空，
that from existences you
但
can
空
see
不能否
emptiness,
认有。
but emptiness also
你
cannot
否认了有， 那就是没有
reject
因果报应的。
cannot reject
所以我们今
existence,
天所遇到的
cannot
所谓的无
deny
常，
existences.
其实它
So
其
the
中就有
so-called
因果报
impermanence,
应在里面，
it
因缘果报
includes
在里面。
cause and effect
今天
in
我们的
there,
无我
causes and
也
conditions
是
in
一
there.
样有因果，
And today, the same with
这
no
个因
self,
缘果报
it
在里
also
面，
embodies cause and
不能
effect,
否认因缘
causes
果
and
报。
conditions in there.
你
We
第一
cannot
个，
deny
你知道
the
是空，
cause and effect and causes
但
and
是你不能
conditions.
否认因
First, you
缘果
know
报，
it is empty, but you cannot
这个就是
deny
正见。
karma, cause and effect. And this would be the right view. This would be right view.
为什么是天气是晴天呢？因
Why
为
is
出太
the
阳
weather
是晴天。
clear? Because the sun
为
is
什么突
shining.
然间会变成阴天呢？因为来
But
了一片
why
云，一大片
it
的云。
becomes cloudy all of a sudden? Because lots of
为什么会
clouds
下雨
come.
呢？因为
And
来的是
why
阴云，所以它下雨啊。
does it rain? Because
为什么又会下
it
雪呢？
was dark clouds. And why
因为
why
天
is it
气很冷
snowing?
啊，
Because it's cold.
这个下来的就变成雪花了，
So
就
what's
变成雪花。天气很冷
falling becomes
到了
snowflakes
下雪
because
的
it's
时候
cold.
啊，为什么又会下冰雹？
And why is it healing?
因为这个雪在半空中结成，
Because the
有一个
snows
变化嘛，因为有什么
form
原因，
because there's some
所以它变成了
causes.
冰雹。
So they become hills.
为什么会打雷呢？
And why is there thunder?
啊，因为这个阴阳电接触啊，短路，所以闪电
Because the negative and the positive
又有闪电呢。
meeting each other,
为什么
so
会刮
there's
风呢？
thunders and lightning.
风从哪里来？
And why is it windy? Where does the
啊
wind
你
come
看看
from?
风从哪里来就知道，风从哪里来。
And you would know.
这个都是因果啊，这里面都有因果。
So there's cause and effect in all
真正的
this.
你在往上面走，离
If
开了这
you
个地表以后啊，
go higher,
哪里有这些东西啊？
then none of
那个
those
就是根
exist.
本质，
And that is the
底下的演
fundamental
化
wisdom.
就是差
Things
别。
that's happening and changing
你不能
underneath
够
is the
以
wisdom
根
of
本质来
discernment.
否定差别质，
But you cannot
也
use
不
the
能用
fundamental
差别质来
wisdom
否
to
定根本质。
to reject the wisdom of discernment. At the same time, you
这个
cannot
观
use
念
the
就
wisdom
叫
of
正
discernment
见。
to reject the fundamental wisdom. And such a view is called right view. So today, we start from impermanence and no self to see that nirvana is bliss. And this is Tathagata's right view, the first of the Eightfold Noble Path. The second is called the right mindset. The second. Right thought or right mindset, which is in the Buddhism called the hearing, thinking, and practicing. Why are sentient beings reincarnated? Because what they think is all true and false. I don't like chatting with people. I like to be silent, and I don't like to talk unless it's time for me to talk. I don't like to chat. When I go back to Taiwan, Simu's brothers, younger brother, and some of her relatives, and they ask me, "Come on, let's go, come and chat with us." But I never did. You know why? Because I don't have time. Practicing is more important to me. I don't like to chat, because once you chat, then you talk about gossips. When you go for afternoon tea, you go to Coco for the bubble tea. My granddaughter is working at Coco now. Jin. And people ask her, "Why are you working at Coco?" Because of the free bubble tea. So she's working there. You can go to Coco in Bellevue, and you can see Jin is working there. So what do you do when you have tea together? You gossip. Bubble tea, some snacks, and you chat about what? About true and false, about gossips, about this person and that person. That's all. What else are you talking about? Just, if not this person is right, that person is wrong. Everything on television is about rights and wrongs. Who is right, who is wrong. And the commentators and the hosts just keep talking about this and that all day long. That's why human beings are not able to abandon our bodies, and we keep tumbling in the sixth rebirth realm because have you ever keep crickets? Like when we were students? Oh, no. Sorry, silkworms. Silkworms. Human beings are like that too. They would spit the cocoon around yourself. Nobody bind you, but you spit it out yourself to bind yourself. Like a cocoon. So you spit a lot of thread, and then the cocoon envelop yourself. So what for? It's better to practice the purity of body, speech, and mind. That your thoughts, your mindset, this is called wisdom. So you need to have wisdom. It's the wisdom of thought. The right thought is only one. That you want to have attainment in your spiritual cultivation. This is called the right mindset, the right thoughts. We have no time to chat. We have not much time to live. We have no time for those. Then this would be the right mindset or the right thought. Don't gossip, chat, talk too much. Don't bind yourself. Do our best and find time to chant the Buddha's name, to be reborn in the Pure Land, to have attainments in our spiritual cultivation, to eradicate our karma. This would be the right thought or the right mindset. This is the second. Third is right speech. Like the right thought, when we speak, we need to pay attention. The purity of our speech. Don't defame other people casually. If you don't see it personally or experience it yourself, most of the time you just heard it. And it's not accurate. So we often say, chant the Buddha's name is its right speech, and chanting the mantra is the purity of the speech. So right speech is the same as the pure speech, or the purity of the speech. But most people are not like that. They always talk and talk. And because they have the thoughts, and then they say it from their mouth. So what they think, they say. But the time you spend talking is spent on chanting the Buddha's name or chanting mantras, then this would become right speech. And about speech, we also say in the 4 enticement practices is we need to say kind words or loving words. Kind words, not evil words, not bad words. Anyone can stand up and talk about speech karma? Bad words, double-tongued, exaggeration or making up, and lies. 4 karma of the speech, so you avoid them. Bad words, lies, discords or double tongues, and it's like what's that called? Nonsense words. useless words. Then if you avoid these 4 kinds of speech, then the rest is right speech. And that would be the purity of speech. So we have covered 3. The 4th one is right livelihood. Because our speech, our action, and our mind are creating karma. They're all karma. Just like the question asked by Kim earlier. They're all karma. One thought results in one body, hundreds of thoughts, hundreds of bodies, and thousands of thoughts, thousands of bodies. So thought is karma. So what is the right action? Or right karma is when you have pure body, pure speech, and pure mind. That your mouth does not violate or does not create speech karma, the body does not create body karma, and the mind does not create mind karma. And that is the purity of the body, speech, and mind. And that is called right livelihood or right karma. Like in our Dharma practice, you're chanting mantra, your mind is visualizing the form of the deity, and your body is forming the mudra. Doesn't matter what mudra you form, they're all pure. That represent the purity of your body. So your mind is visualizing, your mouth is chanting, and your body is forming mudra. That's the pure mind, pure speech, and pure body. At this time, the 3 karma are pure, and that's called right karma. So tantric spiritual cultivation is very direct. When you form the mudras, that's the purity of the body. When you chant the mantras, that's the purity of the speech. When you visualize, to teach you visualization, the methods of visualization is the purity of the mind. Very simple. So Tantrayana relies on these 3 purities to gain spiritual union with the deity, because that's right karma. Pure body, pure mind, pure speech. When you chant this, this is a mantra, and that's the purity of the speech. And you hear it with your ears, then your mind is pure. And you visualize Guru Padmasambhava. And then you form Guru Padmasambhava's mudra. And that's the purity of the body. Then when your body, speech, and mind are pure, this is the right karma. Do you understand now? Next is right livelihood.
很简单呐，再来就这个解释很好。
Then this is very easy to explain.
依照这样子生活下去。
And if you live according to this,
清净的生活
that you live your life with pure body, speech, and mind,
就是正命。
that's right livelihood.
你的生活就是身清净、
So,
口清净、意清净。
in your life,
生活下去
so you continue to live with the pure body, speech, and mind. And that would be called right livelihood, right view, right thought, right speech, right karma or action, right livelihood. 5 kinds.
这样会不会？
Now, do you know?
所以我平时说法也没讲什么。
Therefore, I don't
这个
really say anything when giving Dharma teaching.
说法的时候说话。
As for me, I speak mostly when I give Dharma teaching, and I don't speak much at other times. Like during meal times, I don't say much, but sometimes if as appropriate, and sometimes I sing a song when I'm happy. But actually, it sounds bad. No.
就是那一天呢，我听到那个上个礼拜吧。
Last week, I heard someone from California who sang a song that sounded nice. So I wrote it. And so it's not that good, but let me sing it for you.
给你小星星，送你花一朵。你是我生命中太多的感动，你是我的天使，一路指引我。无论岁月变幻，爱你唱成歌。听我说，谢谢你，因为有你温暖了世界。因为你，谢谢你，世界更美丽。因为你，谢谢你，爱你在心底。因为你，谢谢有你，把爱来传递。我这个字还是不能背得很熟，但是我会把它唱完。
I haven't memorized it quite well.
小星星，送你花一朵，因为我生命中最大的感动，你是我的天使。你是我的天使，一路指导我，一路指导我是吧？
You're my angel guiding
一
me.
路指引我，就是这条歌吧，谁会唱的？
I give you a little bit of heart and a flower because you give me so much touch.
这条歌很好听的，这条歌。
This song is very nice.
我以前在台湾写的。
Listen to me thanking you. And this song I sang in Taiwan. Planting stars.
一片一片的雨。 飘在天上，落在心里，一朵一朵的花。
Of all the stars in the sky, which ones are your eyes?
只要你愿意相信。
The clouds in the sky fall into my heart.
只要你愿意相信。
Each of the stars is someone who loves you. If you believe that, you would be the happiest person. Each star in the sky is someone who has loved us. If you are willing to believe that, then you are planting the stars.
Yeah. 唱歌啊，心情也好。
You would be in a good mood after singing. And these are all good songs, positive. I like to listen and hum it. But of course it doesn't. I don't sing well if I sing for others. Sorry about that, Om Mani Padme Hum.